Hello and welcome to the Let It Ride podcast, coming at you to preview week 13 in the NFL, which kicks off tomorrow night. Three Thanksgiving games for your viewing pleasure, starting off with the Packers taking on the Lions. Then we have the Cowboys taking on the Chiefs. We close things out with the Ravens and the Bengals. We'll not be giving out any picks for those games on this podcast. Most likely by the time you listen to this, those games will have already happened. Don't expect you guys to tune in on Thanksgiving. As much as you couldn't expect me to record on Thanksgiving, we're adjusting the recording schedule just a little bit, recording on Wednesday night before Thanksgiving. A lot of busy times with the family tomorrow, so would not have time to record, getting it out of the way tonight. Actually racing a melatonin that I just took to get ready for tomorrow, try to get some sleep. So going to be rifling through this podcast. My picks in week 12 did pretty well, 3-2-1. Not the kind of blast off we wanted, but there we are, 3-2-1 blast off. Three winners, two losers, and a push. We got a winner on the teaser of the week, the Falcons and Steelers taking care of business for us there. We got a winner on the Colts Chiefs under 50.5. Got a winner on the Titans plus 13.5. I was a little bit afraid of taking the Titans, but they, believe it or not, have covered now three straight games. Losers on the Vikings plus 6.5. That was an ugly game for us, and a loser on the Ravens Jets over. That really never had a chance. Just two bad reads on my part, but still a profitable week at 3-2-1 if you tailed my picks. Diving into my week 13 picks, and we're going to start with the Falcons taking on the Jets. The Jets, a 2.5 point underdog at home. The over-under sitting at 39.5. The Jets outgained the Ravens in that game on Sunday. The passing offense looked at least passable with Tyrod Taylor. 200 something yards passing, that you were not seeing anywhere near those numbers with Justin Fields. So this offense does look a little bit better. That game really was closer than the final score would indicate. They had two turnover on downs in that game and a fumble inside of the five. Two Ravens touchdowns, both got aided by long pass interference penalties. So I think this Jets team is playing pretty well. Seems like the locker room is behind Tyrod Taylor. This team is playing hard. I expect Breece Hall to have a big game in this one. On the other side, you have Kirk Cousins starting for the Falcons. Drake London may be out for this game. Are you really trusting Kirk Cousins to go on the road for the second straight week and cover? I am not. I am taking the Jets plus 2.5. That is going to move us on to the Texans taking on the Colts. The Colts, a 4.5 point favorite at home. The over-under sitting at 44.5. And I tout this Texans defense on this podcast every single week. I love, love, love this Texans defense. Second fewest yards per play allowed, second fewest points per game allowed. Now, you might think, oh man, they're on the road. Maybe the defense won't play as well. So they allow 16.5 points per game on the season, 16.1 points per game on the road. So as the old adage says defense does in fact travel. CJ Stroud should be back for this game. Nico Collins available for this game. So they have those two playing a full game potentially for the first time since week 5. Week 5, by the way, they got a 44-10 win against the Ravens. The week before that, when they had Stroud and Nico, they got a 27-0 win. So this offense definitely better when these two guys are playing together. I'm expecting this offense to get back on track. I'm expecting the defense to keep on doing what they've been doing. Daniel Jones kind of looking like the Daniel Jones of old after his hot start to the season. His last three games, he hasn't looked great. Now he's going and facing the best secondary in the NFL. When you look at the Colts' 8 wins this season, they've beaten the Dolphins, the Titans twice, the Broncos on a game that they really should have lost. They missed the field goal to the game-winning field goal. They lined up and missed it. Would have lost the game if not for a leverage penalty on the Broncos. So really got lucky to win that game. They beat the Raiders, the Cardinals, the Falcons, and the Chargers in a game where they had no run game. Their offensive line was banged up. Justin Herbert threw for 420 yards on the defense in that game. So I think this 8-win Colts team is a little bit of smoke and mirrors. I really think this Texas team is much better. When you look at the games where the Colts have stepped up in class, they lost to KC, they lost to the Rams, and they lost to the Steelers. So there are three teams right now projected to be in the playoffs that they've all lost to. So anytime this Colts team steps up and plays a game against a team that is a high caliber team, which I think this Texans team is, despite how they started the season, They've come up short, and I expect them to come up short in this one at as well. You give me 4.5 points. I am taking that all day. Give me the Texans plus 4.5 in this game. So yes, we started out with two underdogs. Buckle up, Buttercup. It's going to get way worse than that. Moving on to the Jags taking on the Titans. The Titans, a 7-point underdog at home. The over/under sitting at 41.5. And as I said in the open, the Titans 3-0 their last three games against the spread. All three of those games have come against teams with top 10 point per game defenses. So this Titans team really is at least hanging with these better teams. I'm not expecting them to go out and win, but they're playing the Jacksonville Jaguars at home here. The Jacksonville Jaguars have not won a road game by more than 7 points since 2023, October of 2023. So that's 17 straight road games that the Jaguars have failed to win by a touchdown or more. I'm getting 7 points for the Titans here. I'm going to grab it. I don't trust Trevor Lawrence on the road. We saw it last week. He threw all the picks. The team got lucky to get that win against the Arizona Cardinals. It was a bad coaching Spider-Man meme, both pointing at each other from across the sidelines, making just atrocious mistakes on both sides. So I expect that to continue. Maybe the Jags get an ugly win here, but I'm taking the touchdowns here with the Titans. So give me the Titans plus 7 in this game. It's only going to get worse. We're taking all underdogs this week, all dogs on this card. Don't know what to tell you. I looked at this card and none of the favorites caught my eye, and we're taking all underdogs. We're going to move on to the 49ers taking on the Browns. The Browns, a 5.5 point underdog at home. The over/under sitting at 36.5. And yes, we are taking the Cleveland Browns. So just if you're keeping note at home, the quarterbacks that we have bet on so far, we have taken Tyrod Taylor. We've taken CJ Stroud coming off of an injury. We've taken Cam Ward, who has one win on his resume. And now we're taking Shedeur Sanders against the San Francisco 49ers. The Browns, as I said, a 5.5 point underdog at home. The over/under sitting at 36.5. We're not taking this team because of Shedeur Sanders. We're taking this team because of this Browns defense. This Browns defense is completely different at home. 4-0-1 against the spread at home this year, allowing just 15.4 points per game on defense. The 49ers playing on short rest after playing on Monday Night Football last week. And this run game for the 49ers really hasn't been what you'd expect, with Christian McCaffrey just 26th in the league rushing the football. Cleveland on the other side allows the fourth fewest yards per carry, the eighth fewest yards per pass attempt. If you're expecting this 49ers team to just come out and throw it all over the yard against these Browns, not so fast. They're also a top 10 passing defense. We saw Brock Purdy turn the ball over a lot last week, 3 interceptions. And if you look back 2 years ago, the 49ers came in undefeated to play a very bad Browns team that was starting PJ Washington, the quarterback. The 49ers came out of that game with a loss. So grabbing the 5.5 points here with the Browns, like I said, I think this defense is really good, especially at home. The over/under sitting at 36.5. So this 5.5 points could prove to be very valuable in a game that's expected to be a rock fight. So taking the Browns plus 5.5 in this one. And we're going to close things out. You thought the quarterbacks that we took in those first 4 games were bad. Well, we are taking an undrafted rookie free agent playing in his first game in this last one here. The Vikings taking on the Seahawks. The Seahawks at an 11.5 point favorite at home. The over/under sitting at 41.5. Max Brosmer making his first start against an elite Seahawks defense. You might sit here and think, why in the world would you do that? The Seahawks team has been blowing people out. This is a Vikings team that had Sam Darnold last year. Sam Darnold has his warts. Who is going to know how to expose those warts better than the team that saw him in practice every week last year, saw him in practice, and then decided to get rid of him in the offseason? There might be a revenge factor for Sam Darnold in this game, but I think there's going to be a bigger revenge factor here for this Vikings defense. I'm not saying they come out and win the game. 11.5 points is just way too many. Give me the Vikings plus 11.5. The teaser of the week, we're going to go back to the first game that we picked, the Falcons and the Jets. We took the Jets plus 2.5. We're also going to tease them up to plus 8.5. We're also going to tease the Cardinals up to plus 8.5 against the Bucks. Baker Mayfield may not play. Even if he does play, he's going to be limited with that injury. That Bucks team, really, the injury is really starting to pile up for them. I think the Cardinals can at least keep that game close. So the teaser of the week this week, teasing the Jets to plus 8.5, teasing the Cardinals 2 plus 8.5 as well. And the top 5 picks this week, as I said, all underdogs, taking the Vikings plus 11.5, the Browns plus 5.5, the Titans plus 7, the Texans plus 4.5, finally the Jets plus 2.5. That is going to do it for my picks and the podcast. Thank you for listening. Happy Thanksgiving, and I will see you guys next week.